Hello, welcome back to Through It All with the Moffats, and I'm trying to get the best light possible. Oh, hey, look, there I am. So I've got a cloudy day, which is I thought would be the best day to film this, and just finally show you all that I've been doing with my kitchen and its makeover. A lot of you have been asking how I did it. And the first thing I want to say is I am not a carpenter. I am not an interior decorator. I am flying by the seat of my pants and loving it, to be honest with you. I have watched a lot of videos and I have, oh, you know what? Those circles are driving me nuts. Let me pause for a moment and play with this stand. Okay, so maybe if I slouch a little bit more, I moved the camera actually down on the pole, we won't get as many circles. So I so apologize for any circles and lack of being able to see me. Well, that might have been a blessing. But anyways, so the first thing I'm gonna do before I go and do a demonstration of exactly how I do the antiquing is I have all my stuff here that I've used and am using, as well as the different stages of everything that from beginning to end. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the different things that I've used, some things that I didn't like, some things that I do like, and all that good kind of stuff. So the first thing I want to say is that this is how I've done this. This is not necessarily how the videos have said to do it. There are a lot of videos and a lot of different techniques. So I've kind of combined a few and I've left out some. One of the biggest one is that they've used a lacquer thinner to wipe and wash all your cupboards off first. Last year, I used a stain blocker, which would work as well in a white. I apologize, I'm going dark again. There, I'm back. And it did work. However, my big dog, had a very big reaction to the stain blocker. Wow. Where am I? There we go. Hi. And so I did not want to use any chemicals. And let me reiterate that he was outside for most of the time. We also had all the windows open and good ventilation and all that kind of stuff. However, he still had a reaction, whereas my little Chihuahua did not. So we have German Shepherd, Black Lab, what else is he? Retriever. That's the third one we think he is. To a little Chihuahua. The little Chihuahua had no problems. Maybe I need to keep moving. Sorry, that was squirrel. Anyways, so I didn't want to use any of those harsh ones again. So I didn't want to use the lacquer thinner. I didn't want to use the stain blocker. So I decided that I was going to just sand everything off. And part two of this one gentleman's video was that he used a metal brush. This worked. This worked very well. This scrapes off the wax and whatever else is on your doors really well. Got this from William Dix here in town, Niverville. However, it takes a really long time. Really long. So, that being said, we still use this. But thanks to gift cards for birthdays and Christmas. I bought a rotary sander. I think that's what this is called. As you can see, I'm very technical. I know all these different things. This, if you have the right grit, works perfectly. Now, I bought this actually for when I did my table. This also helped sand down all the pallets. It made all the pallets look beautiful. Even the ones that were weathered and looked like they were peeling. Beautiful. Brought out the grain. Love it. Love it. Got this on sale at, I believe it was Home Depot. And I love it. Now for sanding those boards, the pallet boards, I used a 220 and then went down to an 80 and then a 60. The 220 is way too much to do these cupboards, and it doesn't do it nice and evenly. Whereas the 60, tried that because that's all I had left, didn't do enough. It just made a muck of the wax and stuff that was on it. So we went to Home Depot, and they had this one, which is a 100, I believe. Yes. A 100. And I know it's backwards, but I'm going to show you, I guess, the brand. This is a good brand. I find that it's working really well. It's taking things off very evenly. I'll show you in a minute. The other one was Gator, and it worked very well as well. I think I might like this one a little bit better though. And after you sand, and I'll show you what it looks like sanded. This is what the panel that goes in front of your sink. And I washed it, and it's so humid out here right now that it's not drying. So I'm not sure how much work I'm going to get done, which is also another reason why I'm making this video today, because the work is going to be very minimal, unfortunately, because I have my kids' birthday parties this weekend, and I would really like to have my kitchen back. It needs to get done. So desperately needs to get done. So as much as we need this rain, and I mean we need this rain, I'm not saying the rain is horrible. I just wish things would dry out a little faster. In my garage, you know, I could put a fan on, but then it would get into the paint. And because we have animals, that's the second thing. Shave your animals before you try any of this, because it's never ending an annoyance. My dog walks, therefore there is hair. I guess I should say my dog breathes, therefore is hair. Another thing I used was these came in so handy. I found these at our the Great Canadian Dollar Store here in Niverville, and they work wonders for corners, and you want to make sure you get those corners really good, so that they'll saturate that the paint and the stain as well. The nice thing about these is what happens is that when you're doing your cupboards, when you're sanding, and this is one that has only one coat of paint on it still, so I still need to. But when you sand, you need to get in, because I don't know if in your cupboards, but over the years, even with washing and stuff, it's so hard to get into these corners, and guck gets in there. These little brushes take those out perfectly. So after you go and you sand a big door like this with the rotary sander, what I did was I did go over it very slightly then with the steel brush, and that gets into the grain more. It actually takes all the wax and the varnish stuff that was already there. It takes it out of those cracks, allowing the paint to go in. Now, does that damage the wood? No, actually it doesn't, because after you're finished, you're going to put another coat of a Varathane, which I will show you in just a moment. So those are your brushes that you use. I also, because I'm changing the hardware, I have to fill the old holes in. So I've used this. The nice thing about this Elmer's is that you can buy it, and I know you can't see it's backwards, but you can buy it tinted. So this is a golden oak. And it matches the color of the sanded wood very nicely. And doesn't show through. There's even a really dark one if you have like a dark cupboard, so that if you're going to change your hardware, you can go ahead and fill it up with the same color as your wood. So that's that, and it dries really fast, like really, really fast. I am so impressed with this product. The next thing I used, like I said, I did not use a primer or a stain blocker. I used this, and I had to go out and buy a second can. And this is, going French on you, Doors and Trim. So I used this last year on top of the stain blocker for all my interior doors, all my interior trim, as everything had yellowed over age. This is just white. I did not tint it. I just bought it. It's the perfect white. It's not too harsh. It's not too dull either. It's perfect. So, and it's by Cico, I guess that's how you pronounce it. And you can buy that from here at William Dix, which is where I first bought it. But thanks to a Rona card for my birthday, I bought this at Rona, which is where I bought my house paint as well. Let's see what else. So once you've got 2 coats, sometimes 3. Sorry, I live a sheltered life. This just blew my mind. They have different rollers out there now. It's not, because I was using one of those fluffy rollers and it was leaving little lint marks, and I hated it. I was like, oh, and of course you don't want to use brush because then it leaves brush marks. I was at the dollar store here in town. Oh, see, there's more dog hair. Hasn't even been out here as far as I know. These are sponge rollers. They're phenomenal. But I didn't have a roller, so I left it for the day. But then in the kit that I bought to do my counter, which I will do a video as I do the first part, because it's going to be phenomenal as well, I hope. But they had these, and so I tried it. And because I was a little leery, because, sometimes, dollar store stuff isn't the quality it should be. These are awesome. Dollar store. I go through a lot of paintbrushes. If I've spent a lot of money on something, it would probably be brushes, because I don't like cleaning brushes. Not because I'm lazy, but because I find that it takes away from the quality of the bristles as soon as you use a paint thinner or cleaner, whatever that stuff is, which you do need for this type of paint. So I just go to the dollar store, and they're higher grade, which is only, let's see, where's it, my paintbrush? I do have some. Oh, there's one. These Paint Pros or Pro Painter brushes. Sometimes our store doesn't have it. I got this from Dollarama. These are wonderful. The bristles do not fall out, unless of course you use one of those cleaners. So I just don't. For $1.25, I get a full day's use out of it, and I throw it away. I'm sorry. I know that's not environmental, but I do it. Don't judge. Okay. Anyways, sponge rollers. Amazing. They apply the perfect coat of paint. They squishy, that's the technical terms. Where am I? Oh, there we go. They squishy into the corners. They're wonderful. They go around the bends. They're great. They're great. I did my entire island like super quick, especially the long one. Ooh. I also bought a short one to do the cupboards. So I have one for paint, and this is one for my Varathane. And then, so I bought the real ones from William Dix. And I bought this long handle from William Dix. My kit came with a, for the counter, I think it came with a small one. I'm using that for the paint, like I said. But I did go from the Dollarama and I bought these to give it a whirl. You do have to have a fair number of them on hand. Don't just think you're going to use one, because these tips fall off. So again, I get about a day, maybe 2 days out of these ones. Pardon me. Too much sawdust already today. I'm going to take a little sippy sip of my coffee. Num num. My husband makes the best coffee. He doesn't even drink coffee, but he makes me coffee almost every day. I love him. And where am I? There we go. I apologize for the fading in and out. I do not know how to fix that. So if you know how to fix that, here's another little squirrel moment. If you could let me know in the bottom of this video, after you like and subscribe on YouTube, then I could become better. I would love to become a better video maker? I don't know. What else? Rollers. Very important. Make sure you have enough that if something should go wrong, that, yeah. Because, you know, things go wrong. I also bought a roll of this. Also from Dollarama. I have used a lot. And I'm very impressed with the fact that, there we go, how much is on this roll, to be honest. This is one of the most important things you're going to use for your antiquing. Some people use cheesecloth. I just use this because you put a lot on your door, but you take a lot off the door. That's another thing. Make sure you've got your stir sticks. I would suggest that, being that this is a more of a lengthy project, that, why am I not in vision? What if I turned? Okay, so this is the least messy angle, which is another reason why I'm filming from this, because I still have all my wood remnants over there, and the drop cloth that I used for when I made the table. So I really apologize. But I'm gonna try and turn so that maybe you can see me. Make sure you also have your rollers. And as I was saying, use, oh, maybe that'll work. Let's try that. Let's try this angle. Okay, let's try that. There's a garbage truck. It's garbage day. I apologize. Life happens. It's messy. So yes, ask for extra stir sticks. That's what you call them. Just so that again, pet family. You put it down, there's pet hair, it's done. And let me tell you, I vacuum 3 times a day, every day, right now, because my animal is shedding like crazy. We brushed him enough that looked like he had a sibling lying beside him. It was ridiculous. And you can't shave him. He's black, and you can't shave him because he's got an undercoat. But it's the undercoat that's coming out right now. Wow. How many squirrels are we going to see today? Next product that I used after painting is the glaze. Again, some people use different brands of glaze. They use different kinds. I saw one that called for the chalked decorative glaze. Most will use a straight black. Most people know that other than my hair, I'm not a very drastic person. Oh gosh, I can't even say that because my house was blue and green and purple. Okay, so I don't like, I don't even know how to say it. I like detail. I love this antiquing, but I don't think I would like it as much if it wasn't the smoked glaze. So this is actually, it's a very dark, so it almost looks black in some areas, but it's actually just a dark gray. It's a smoky color, and to me, I find it's perfect. It's the perfect color to get the different variances that I wanted. How is that for explaining? On top of that, once you've let that dry for several hours, because otherwise you'll muck up your sponge, I use this. It is a Varathane Diamond Wood Finish water-based interior. And I bought it in satin, so it's got a shine to it, which is beautiful. Make sure, because there's tons that are oil-based as well. Those oil-based ones will yellow. I literally bought the can that said crystal clear, non-yellowing, ultimate protection, maximum scratch and stain resistance, fast drying, no brush strokes. Well, you would get brush strokes regardless if you used a brush. But this is where using this sponge is beautiful. Did my island bottom on as well. Our kitchen is one of the most used rooms in our entire house, and I'm gonna be real here with you for a moment. My kids are pigs. I can clean the kitchen from top to bottom and walk through and see ketchup on the side of the island. So I added about 3 to 4 coats of this clear coat on everything. It has a really good coating on it. And then I let it dry for well over 24 hours before I installed. Cross our fingers that nothing gets spilt, because it's supposed to be lightly used, I think, for a week. But they've already been out here for a couple of days already, so they should be pretty good. So now I'm going to go through and show you the different stages of stuff. I did not... The only thing I'm going to show you exactly what I did is I will show you how I did the antiquing. So, yes, like I said, I went down and I guess I should show you. This one here, I did half and half, so you could see the difference in the color. Like, you want to make sure, and you can, oh, I didn't dust it well enough. You can feel the difference. You can still feel the wax and stuff on this one, and the varnish, because, I mean, it's a kitchen, so obviously cupboards are going to have that. But you can just feel like this just feels like a nice piece of wood. So once you sand that all down, then you apply your paint. I would say the white paint then goes for about 2, maybe 3 coats, depending on how dry that cupboard is. Each cupboard had its issues. And the first thing I want to say is, and maybe I didn't know this, maybe for a professional cupboard, are you actually supposed to like re-verathane it? Upon taking things off and realizing all the imperfections that were in these cupboards, I probably would have done it a lot sooner, but I seem to have been able to turn a blind eye to mess. I used to be an extreme type A. Everything had to be just so. And then after about the second kid, and my husband saying, you gotta stop yelling, you gotta stop stressing out about there being toys and stuff. With each and every kid, I just keep letting go. I feel like I'm starting to gain back a little bit of my house now that they're getting older. It's a really loud truck. I apologize. That was the garbage truck doing the other side. Yeah. So not that I actually know. I completely like the last 20 years of my life have been uncontrolled inner turmoil doo-doo messes. Yeah. So anyways, I'm becoming much more happy now. Wow, I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, right, flaws in the cupboards. Flaws. Lots and lots of flaws in the makemanship? Is that the right word? I don't know. The quality of these cupboards. I don't think I would, if I had the money to actually redo my entire kitchen, I would not use this brand again. Ever. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Let's see. So yeah, I actually had to use some wood filler even on some of the spots, because it was so badly worn in some spaces. And if I can get this camera to be at the right spot, let's see if I can do this. Do you think I could? I'm going to bring it closer here because I do want you guys to really be able to see. This is not really a hard technique, to be honest with you. First thing is you want to get your several cloths ready. Because I guess it's a, what did they call this? A glaze? Oh, there it is. Oh no, but it's on the floor. It never actually dried. I don't know, I'm wasting a cloth. Making sure there's no dog hair on it. But yeah, so I've used the same brush on all the doors so far. Okay, I'm going to open it up. And I just use one of my kids' craft. You don't want to overstir it because you don't want air bubbles. Put that over there. And here we go. I'm gonna, maybe I should put it on the left-hand side, being that I'm right-handed. Well, that was, sorry folks. You know, as lovely as my arm is, I know that's not what you want to see. So let's give this is the one that still needs to be paint it another coat or two. There we go. Hello. Side note, look at my beautiful daughter. I don't know if you can see her. Woo! Anyways, yet another squirrel. Okay. I think that works. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll even put this flat. Does that look better? Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and put it in those corners. Like I said, you use a fair bit of this stuff. Make sure you get it all in there. Looks beautiful, don't it? And then I go and I do my edges. I say to do the corners a little bit more because that's where the wear often happens. And then maybe I'll just kind of do this, and some here, and here, and then I just kind of do this. Looks great, doesn't it? Not really. But now we take our cloth. I highly recommend folding it nicely because then you can fold it different ways. The first thing you want to do is you want to go in the middle. And you're just going to give it a light wipe. Don't push down too hard. And you're going to go here. The more you wipe off, the more white that comes back through. That's a nice disc glaze. It is wonderful for that. And I do like to see a lot of the cupboards online often showed everything being really gray. If I wanted gray cupboards, I would have painted them gray. Just getting another cloth. And I find that the more you rub, you can see that it gets into the grain. So now you can see that there's definitely some definition going on, but the way I do it, now they, on different videos, they say to let it sit 15 minutes. Some even longer. And then they say sand it off and the white will come through and the black will stay there. I think that's leaving too much to chance, to be honest with you. I like it to be a little bit more precise, if that makes any sense, because this is not a precise. Every door will be different. Make sure you get the sides. So I go back again. And so one of the things they say to highlight is if you have edges, things are going to be in the edges. So you can just highlight those, go over it again. Just lightly this time. And I just use the side of my brush when I do that. I don't use the tip, I use the side, and I just let the edge of the actual door do its job, do its thing. I did not take the hinges off because, quite frankly, they scared me. Like these hinges here and here. I was afraid that if I took them out, I would not be able to put them back on. So, you know, being how handy I actually am. And then I just kind of go back. If I want a little bit more definition somewhere, just kind of shade it in there. And they also say that wherever your hardware is going to go, it's usually a little bit more worn there. So I just kind of guesstimate where that knob is going to go. And I put it on. Now I still don't like how dark this is, but I'm going to go ever so lightly and just kind of just bring it out. It just softens it a little bit more. And you just keep going until you get what you like. And there we go. I'm quite happy with this door. I'm going to, oh, excuse my hands, take it off the stand here. And I'm just going to switch it over so you can get a better look. That's our finished door. So I kind of have my stations here. I have my sanding over there. Then I move to painting. Then I move to antiquing. And then use an old rack and I'm varnishing. And then William puts the hardware on for me. So these ones are all ready to go to be varnished and to be put back up. It's very exciting. Not sure how much I'll get done today, but being that it's so humid, hopefully it'll dry out a little bit. Anyways, thanks for tuning in to Through It All with the Moffats, and just an afterthought video here, and that's as you're sanding. So I've gone and sanded the sides down and stuff like that. Then I've gone and I've gone in here. You always want to sand with the grain of the wood, never against. Otherwise you will get marks from your sandpaper or whatever you're using. And you'll notice, like, this is just a small fraction of what I've gotten just from this corner. That's how much varnish and stuff are on these. So it does take a fair bit of elbow grease and what have you. But it does get done and it looks great after. So it's worth it, I believe. Well, I guess I'm done for the day. I've filled a lot of the holes. I did some more sanding. It's so humid outside that the varnish and stuff is actually rolling up into little balls, and then sticking in the grain. And then as it cools off, it sticks there. So I was using my blow dryer anyways to blow the dust away, anyways, the sawdust and what have you. So I was using that. I put the heat setting on to the highest, and I actually could remelt it, so that I could take off those clumps of varnish. So I guess I'm done for the day. I'm okay with that. I'm trying to get my kitchen done. Maybe it'll cool off tonight, and dry out tonight, so that we could maybe get those, the ones that I at least had done, sanded and whatnot, get them painted, so that tomorrow they can be glazed, and then the other ones I could hopefully maybe glaze tonight, or the Varathane on at least 1 or 2 coats, and then I can do another couple coats tomorrow morning, and then by the evening again I can then flip them over and do, because you want to make sure that you do both sides. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to share with you today. Tip number, let's maybe do a little bit of a review. Tip number 1, always sand with the grain. Tip number 2, have patience. It's going to take you a long time. Tip number 3, have coffee. Tip number 4, change your brushes often. Tip number 5, have a glass of ice water. Tip number 6, have fun. Enjoy the process of creating. It is so very, very fulfilling. I'm still amazed that I did this. And I can say that I redid my upper part of the house this past year. Paint, trim, baseboards, banister, took out a wall, finished the kitchen, made a coffee table, all, I want to say, pretty close to $1,000. I did have some, like I said, gift cards and stuff like that, but I bought everything on sale. I was very blessed. Even when I went to go buy my paint this week, that can, it was on sale. And all my light fixtures that I bought, they were on sale. What else? Yeah. So now I just have to do the barn doors. That will be the last thing I have to do after the kitchen. And that will either have to wait for the wood prices to come down, because I did watch videos on that, and I'm pretty sure I could probably make a barn door. I would like to make a barn door. However, Costco does have them with the hardware for $100 each. Being that I need 4, I need to start saving my pennies. Or I guess my nickels now. I guess you can't save pennies anymore. But yeah. Very fulfilling. I'm very proud of the work that I did. I'm very happy with the results. And I have to learn how to not say And I apologize for all the elbow shots. I actually cut a lot more out. If you can believe it or not. Thank you for tuning in to Through It All with the Moffats. Please like and subscribe on the YouTube page. I am still here as always to pray for you. And if you have any other questions as to the process that I took, or what products I used, please feel free to comment below. I love reading the comments. And yeah, Have a blessed rest of your day. In Jesus' name, amen.